2024 Serendipity Collective, a platform where a myriad of disciplines converge to share their dreams for the future of science, society, and humanity. Imagine this. It's the year 2100, and humans have built habitats on Mars using self-repairing materials and bionic cells. We've tailored precision foods to individual needs and created digital twins for personalized healthcare. Superbugs recycle waste into valuable resources, and plant cells have been modified for deep space environments. This vision of the future is closer than you think, and it all starts here at the Serendipity Collective. In May 2024, in a transformed factory compound on the outskirts of Tallinn, Estonia, the Serendipity Collective brought together a unique community of innovators, scientists, engineers, artists, and writers.
We want you to intermingle, we want you to learn from one another and really to help drive the science forward.
For 2 days, participants engaged in talks, workshops, and collaborative sessions to rethink, design, and co-develop groundbreaking ideas.
A lot of times in fundamental research and science in general, you see a lot of hard conversations about the deep science aspect of it, and everybody gets very tunneled and very siloed. The artist really brought out the creativity in the scientist, right? And what this, I thought, did was take a lot of the individuals and force them out of that comfort zone when they're a mile deep in that hole and bring them back up to the surface and completely change the whole way they look at that problem.
Big ideas define the future. By providing a platform for these ideas to grow and thrive, the Serendipity Collective makes a world of difference. Our participants' work today will inspire the next generation of creators, contributing to the broader tapestry of humanity.
I'm really sure that we'll use these tools to be better scientists, better innovators, better persons. So I think it's a really perfect event.
To have the opportunity to feel free to think whatever I want to think without any barrier is amazing to me.
The future starts here. Join us in creating a better world. For more information, visit our website at serendipitycollective.com.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining. I was just playing a little bit of our clip from the 2024 Serendipity Collective, just while people were slowly joining. But really great to see everyone here. It's nice to see some old faces, but then it's great to invite some new friends to the collective as well. So hopefully you can learn a little bit about it, and you can join as well in 2025. So initially I will just go through what I have to present, but then we will have a part later where everyone can kind of ask questions and stuff. If you have questions, just, click on raise hand and I will then make you vocal. Or otherwise you can just type in your questions in the share, and then we will answer them as well in the questions and answers, I should say. Okay, so let's kick off. And by the way, we will post this recording on the internet as well, probably on LinkedIn and also in the Serendipity Collective webpage as well. So no worries if you would like to look at more details a little bit later on. Okay, so firstly, like I said, welcome to the Serendipity Collective. The Serendipity Collective is run by the Serendipity Collective Ventures. I'm one of the co-founders. Scott Wolper is also here. He was instrumental in bringing the collective to us a couple of years ago. And basically the objective of the collective is to give scientists, engineers, artists, just to give them a new view and a new role on humanity going forward. And we actually do that by using funds from both government and private institutes. But then, to have sort of crazy ideas and then, just helping to realize some of those ideas. And we'll go through some of the examples that we have done as well over the past couple of years, 2.5 years. For today, the agenda is basically, I'll just walk you through the kind of organizations that we have on board as sponsors and collaborators. Then we can talk quickly about the successes to date, how it works, because some of you may not understand the Serendipity Collective. So we'll just spend a little bit of time on that. The key milestones as well, because it's important that we know, when what is happening. Then Scott will go through the challenge topics that we have for this year. And then I will share a little bit about the selection criteria that what we call the expert panels use when we're looking at actually down selecting some of these pitches or some of these ideas for the pitch event. And then just to finish off, I'll give you some updates in terms of the experiments themselves. So firstly, in terms of the sponsors and collaborators, you can see here, we've got ONRG. We also had Sprint the first year. We've got AMTZ, which is an Indian organization as well, looking at sort of medtech. We've also got the Estonian organizations as well, which hosted it last year. We've also got interest from A-Star, which is a Singaporean organization as well. We've had InnoSwiss, and then this year we've also got from the C4IR, Serbia as well. So we're looking to increase the number of people, government associations that are interested in this as time goes on. But, we're just taking it step by step, basically. From the successes to date, these are the successes from May 2023 and also May 2024. And you can see that, they've got a lot of kind of visitors on the website. We've also got the active participants increasing every year. So this year, I've just put a star here. There's actually 480 participants in the collective. So that's fantastic. The reach in terms of the countries has also been increasing. And this year, I will, when the campaign is finished, I will put those numbers on there as well. We've got something that are called local chapters also active. It's kind of like a local venture studio, which I'll talk a little bit about. And then already we've got 19 ideas as well on the platform. And, hopefully those will increase significantly over the next month. And then I will actually add through all the ideas that have been evaluated and then hopefully look at, more of those startups being formed as well. So just trying to go through a little bit about how it works and what the process is. Like I said, we start with local chapters. It gives, local communities, the opportunity to interact both virtually, but also physically, to come together to talk, and have like that diversity as well, because we really encourage not only scientists, but also engineers and artists, like I said before, and folk from all disciplines, basically, to come and talk about, what they see as problems, how they can actually approach those challenges as well, and then try and construct some ideas around that. And some of those ideas could end up in the global challenge. So usually once a year, we have a global challenge whereby we run it on the platform as well. So people can then post their ideas, and I'll share the platform with you in a second. Post their ideas on the platform. And then we have another collaboration as well, but we also have a matchmaking event on the platform whereby you can actually discuss your interests and your skills, and you can pair up probably with an idea which requires those skills and interests as well. So that's a great feature that we have added in that platform, which is quite unique as well. And then basically, like I said, we have experts look at that based on a criteria. And then we usually pick around 10 teams to have an in-person pitch event. And this year we will be doing it in Belgrade. And then at that pitch event, we have the ideas moving to kind of concepts. They have been validated to a certain level beforehand. There is some continual validation because there's around 50 to 60 people there who are all sort of interested and ready to collaborate and have technical expertise as well. So it's about that's really what brings out the whole collective part. It's not a competition. It's about the collaboration and try and look at your ideas and improve your ideas through collaboration rather than competition. And then basically at the pitch event, we usually select up to 3 ideas. Last year we selected 2 ideas. And that's to say, there is no definite amount of ideas that we have to select. We don't want to make it that sort of base. It could be, 1 idea. It could be no ideas that we select, or it could be all 10 ideas. So it really depends on the progress of those ideas and how relevant they are to the government organizations which are there, because eventually they're the ones that fund those ideas. So basically we have this experiment phase. That's where the 50K comes in. And then over 3 to 6 months, the teams actually, develop their hypothesis further and really how they're going to realize that hypothesis as well and check that hypothesis. And then basically at the end of that, we have a progress update as well, whereby we hear from the teams. They tell us how they went. They tell us about their wins, but they also tell us about their barriers to success as well. And then basically we get into an incubate stage, which is probably a TRL3 or more, whereby we look at the experiments and we see which one of those are prime then for moving forward with government organizations as well. And usually the government organizations also have some sort of infrastructure as well. So we try and pair up the teams with the government organizations depending on the infrastructure, depending on the topic that government is, interested in. And so then that goes into a TRL3, probably for, 1 or 2 years. And then basically eventually comes out of that, and then we scale it up and then commercialize it as well. So that's the general process of how it all works. Right now, what I want to talk to you about is obviously the global challenge. And then, we will talk about the pitch event, and eventually if you're selected for the experiment phase, then it goes into the experiment. But I won't spend much time on those. I'll just spend time on the pitch event and the global challenge for now. Okay, so the key milestones. So basically on the 1st of July, the 2025 Global Challenge was launched. So we reached out on LinkedIn. We reached out to the existing applicants on the collective as well. And then we will reach out even further through all sorts of media as well. So there's about 1 month left for people to put their ideas on there. And also what's important is not only about putting your ideas on there, but collaborating with the ideas that are already there as well. So I really encourage you to do that. And I'll take you through accessing the platform in a second. But basically then those ideas will be put on there, and the experts will probably spend a couple of weeks discussing the ideas, discussing the pros and cons. We may actually also interview some of the team members as well, because building a team is just as important as having a great idea. And I'll explain that in the criteria later on. And so then we will actually select around 50 people to come to Belgrade. And that'll happen on the 26th and 27th of October. And then we will actually fund, a couple of those teams, as I said earlier. At that stage, we hope that the startups are formed. And then basically you go through and do the experiment. And then, over 3 or 6 months, you kind of, measure your hypothesis as well and validate it further. And then you come back and share that with us. And then there may be some things that you want to reiterate. So you have to go back and redesign those things as well. One thing I failed to mention is when we down select the team, so with the 10 teams, what we'll do is we'll also nominate a mentor for each of those teams. And that mentor will take you through the activities that you can do online in order to be better prepared for the pitch event. Okay, great. So like I said, we can open it up to questions and stuff a little bit later. But now, Scott, just over to you, and maybe you can talk a little bit about the topics that we have in the challenge. They pretty much stayed the same from last year. So if you can just go through those briefly, and then we will continue after that.
Sure, Kevin, thanks. So again, I'm happy to join the Serendipity Collective kickoff meeting this year. I've been involved from its inception, and I'm always really excited to join the community and meet some of the teams and hear how some of these great ideas are realized and pulled together. Uh, so the Serendipity Collective has changed from its inception, where it was like, we'll take any idea out there, which was a lot of fun. But we find with researchers that sometimes a little bit of guidance or suggestion can kind of refine the ideas and point you into a useful direction. Useful is probably the wrong word there, but sometimes it helps to have a little bit of focus. And so last year, and again this year, the team came up with some topics to provide just a bit of guidance, which you can see here on the screen. But the vision of the Serendipity Collective has really been to kind of stimulate or spark those wild and crazy ideas that lead to truly innovative science and discovery. And so, as you can see, some of the topics here are incredibly broad. But what we like to think about is that while you mention something like interstellar travel, there's a lot of subcategories and science and engineering concepts that would contribute to that broader vision. So when you see something like interstellar travel, that's the ultimate goal that we would like to address. But then you think about what would make that possible. And that's what we're looking for with Serendipity Collective ideas and concepts. And for that particular topic area, we would look at stuff like advanced materials, novel systems of propulsion, survivability in extreme environments. How do you get to space? How do you feed astronauts? How do you colonize a planet? And so for each of these topics, there's an incredible number of subtopics and areas that could be explored and fall within these categories. Same with longevity, regeneration, and advanced medicine. That's everything from controlling prolonged cellular replication, cellular repair, tissue regeneration. Realizing theoretical space would tap into some of those more physics-based concepts where we talk about quantum, string theory, teleportation, time travel, and a wide range of very exciting areas. As a symbio guy, biosustainability is a favorite of mine, where we talk about improved methods for waste stream valorization, new methods in agriculture, plant survivability, and the like. Energy storage, regeneration, and sustainability is a huge issue globally. What's the next source of power that we're going to tap into? So beyond batteries and the lithium and the cobalt, are we going to be able to leverage photosynthetic machinery, ammonia-based energy, anything you can think of in that space? Virtual selves and artificial consciousness, living machines. Of course, we're thinking about virtual humans, digital twins, advanced modeling capabilities, and the like. And then cognitive and behavioral and psionics really focuses on this cutting edge science where we're starting to look at neural patterning, advanced systems for mimicking biological systems and neuromorphic machinery. And again, the important thing to focus on here is while we bin a lot of science and technology into these categories, the sky is really the limit. And if you do come up with a concept that somehow does not fall into one of these 7 topic areas, there's always the wild cards for virtually anything else you can come up with. So what we like about the Serendipity Collective is exploring these exciting sci-fi type ideas. So really the sky is the limit. Kev, did I touch on them? Over to you, sir.
Yes, you did. Thanks, Scott. So I'll just walk you through the platform right now. So basically, if either of if some of you came in through my LinkedIn post, you can go to the Serendipity Collective, which is the serendipity-co.com. And you will have this join now. You simply have to click on the join now, but then, there is some information as well. It's well worthwhile reading some of that as well. It tells you about past years and also tells you about the local chapters. So you just click on join now. And then basically what you have to do is just put in your name, your function as well. And and then, an email and a password, and then actually just click register. So, I've already registered basically, so I'll just put in my details to go to the platform. So here is the platform. Basically, if you want to learn a little bit more about the process, then you can actually go into the Explore, and it talks you through each of the phases that you have to go through, and then it also it gives you that, because then it gives you some sort of a base and a vocabulary that we keep talking through the Serendipity Collective. Also, you can go to learn as well. So that's just in order so that, again, we're still talking about the same issues. We're also trying to augment your knowledge in terms of innovation. So we've built up several courses here, and you can actually go into any particular phase, and then you can actually, choose a course. And you enroll in that course, and they're little bite-sized learning. So I find it great when I'm traveling on a train or something like that, or even driving, and then I actually go through and do these courses as well. So there's audio functionality as well there, and then you have to pass each of these lessons before you move to the next one. So that's one thing that we have. We also have like a quiz at the end of it, and there's also then a playground for some of these lessons as well, whereby you can actually put your knowledge into practice, basically. Okay, so if you just go to challenges as well, actually, I'll just show you something there as well. So you can see past challenges if you go into the inactive tab, and then you can see, some of the older challenges like the 2024 or the opening challenge in 2023. Read up on the ideas, and then, understand where those ideas are now at as well. So just going to the 2025 challenge. So basically, as Scott was saying, it's all based on a problem statement. And in that problem statement is also available for you here if you want to look at the details of it. Some of the things that Scott was talking about, that is readily available to each of you. And it kind of breaks up the topic not only into technology, but also into, the humanities as well as the arts. So that's useful to have a look at. And then you have other ideas from, our other colleagues or comrades. And then it's worthwhile reading up on those ideas. You can actually like the idea. You can even comment on the idea. And you can also then share that idea. But again, in those ideas, we also have a little bit of a playground. So if you have joined that team, then you can actually access this as well. So you can actually look at user personas. You can look at what we call a value proposition canvas as well. So it starts your journey along that idea as well. So that's just some of the stuff that we've put in there. So you could actually then choose to create your idea. So you may have an idea that you've been thinking about. We also have an AI generator here to help you we use it more as exploring the ideas that are already on the internet. So we use an LLM in order to, search some of those ideas. And you may see some nice nuances to existing ideas potentially as well, that you may want to add into your idea. It's also good to check if your idea is actually something that is already out there or not. As I'll go through some of the selection criteria, but the novelty of the idea is absolutely important to us as well. So anyway, so you would put your idea in here, and like I said, when you want to try and match your skills, you can actually look at, what are the skills that you would actually need for this idea to be realized. And you have a down selection of lots there. If none of those match your criteria, just put it in the comments as well, so that then, people who are interested in the idea can actually go there and read that as well. So let me go back to the presentation. Okay, so the selection criteria for the pitch event. So the first phase is obviously around the ideas. So like we were saying, we'll have an expert panel review some of those and then down select 10 ideas to go to Belgrade. The things that we're looking at is basically, is your idea aligned to the challenge topic and how closely is it aligned? The reason why we do that is because the government agencies or even some of the private agencies, they're focused on particular topics. So we want to make sure that your idea also aligns to that, because then it gives you the greatest chance of getting some funding. So make sure that you read the topic areas again, because they're relevant to the government associations or organizations that will be present. I said also, you have to look at the novelty of the idea. So we have another tool whereby we will check the novelty of your idea compared to what's out there at the moment. So we will compare it to papers and stuff that's out there as well, or even articles on the internet. So make sure the novelty of your idea, it is something truly novel, and make sure you've researched that adequately as well, and not just bang the idea in before thinking through that. And then another thing that is important to us is the scientific rigor. So, we don't mind if you don't know exactly how you're going to realize it, but you should have some science as the base. And you should have a hypothesis and a proposal in terms of how you will go through and actually create or realize that idea or part of that idea, and what you use as the measurements in order to check your hypothesis as well. And eventually, who do you need in your team as well in order to do that? Talking about the team, we also check on that as well. So we look at the credibility of the team. So we will look at, things like Google Scholar, see how credible the team, your teammates potentially are. If you need help in that team, then you can actually come back to the collective as well, and we can help, match make you to certain individuals. Like I said, we're 480 strong at the moment and growing. We also look at team diversity, because it's no point that we have, a group of scientists or a group of engineers in an idea. I think we're looking for people who will think differently as well. So writers, artists, musicians. We're also looking at those people within the team as well, and we can help you actually with those sort of profiles as well. And then finally, with the team, it's very important that the team is actually available on the 26th and 27th, so physically available in Belgrade. I know occasionally, there need to be some exceptions that can't be helped, but hopefully that is not the norm. And we would expect maybe, within a team of, say, 4 or 5, if one person can't make it at the end of the day, we will actually provide some virtual facilities as well, so that they can keep interacting with the team and watch the idea pivot and grow. So what will we kind of provide? So like we said, the pitch event is on the 26th and 27th of October. So what we will provide is an economy class plane ticket for each of the participants, and 3 nights accommodation as well. So 1 night will be before, and then obviously everyone wants to enjoy afterwards as well. So it'll be the 25th, the 26th, and 27th will be the nights of accommodation that we will provide. And we usually, fund that through the Serendipity Collective Ventures, and we find sponsors as well in order to help us with that. And then basically at the event itself, what we do is, we have opening speakers, keynotes as well. Then we have a set of activities that each of you have to also follow. Like I said, with your mentors, they will walk you through what you need to do to prepare for the pitch event. But those innovation activities will also be about sharing your idea with others as well, and receiving some sort of feedback in it. There'll also be networking events, and then there will be a pitch event that will be probably around an hour and a half long. And then each of you will get around 5 minutes to pitch your idea. So it takes a fair bit to be so succinct as well, and we will help you with that, with the mentors and then at the event itself. So the hosts for this year, so we kind of, we go to countries, cities from previous winners. So basically, one of the winners last year was from Novi Sad, and so what we've done is, we talked to the government in Serbia and try and explain what we have done and help get them a little bit excited about what we're doing. And so the Serbian government is extremely supportive of what we're doing, so much so that they've decided to host it this year. And they've put us in with the Biotech Future Forum, which is an annual event that they carry out. And basically that event has around 1,000 sort of global leaders. And again, it's people from all parts as well, whether it be scientists, researchers. This year, after the Serendipity Collective, they will have people from the Nature publication as well. So if a few of you want to stay on and listen to what they want to do in terms of, what they're doing in terms of the Nature publications, that could also be interesting for you guys as well. We're also looking at the venue this year being at Lozionica in Belgrade. So it's a brand new center for arts and science that has been built up by the Serbian government. So they've actually provided that, given us a space in that venue in order to carry out our activities. And then we will probably pitch the ideas in a different location, but this will be the venue for the innovation activities on the 26th. And then finally, looking at some of the experiments that have been funded so far. So basically, NeoVivum was one of the earliest successes in the Serendipity Collective. So that was in Berlin in 2023. And NeoVivum, if you have a look at some that process that I was talking about, is probably up to the incubation as well, and it is being incubated in the European Union as we speak. So the project has just started, and fingers crossed that hopefully everything will go well there, and then we will actually scale that up. So basically, what Eagle was looking at was to find a sort of an evolving consciousness and using evolving agents in order to do that. So it's been a fabulous project we've all been part of and helping, making it grow as well. So Green G was another one where we're looking at sort of, I guess, plugging in into nature was the byline for it, but it was an experiment whereby we were looking at fungus and the role of fungus in order to communicate from one point to the other. So very interesting as well. At the moment, that's probably still within the experiment phase. So we're looking at, developing that a little bit further before we go into the incubation. Another idea was around brain music innovation. So that was also in 2023. So the first three were in 2023. And the brain music innovation is also now looking to go into the incubation phase. They've had various successes with, spot, how would you say that? Kind of spot activities around the place, but nothing, very structured, and nothing yet, in line with what NeoVivum has done. So we're looking for some funding partners for them as well. At this stage, we're looking at both government funding, but then also private funding as well for them. So that's an exciting space. And then the last one is Daystrom Labs as well. So this is around the virtual humans that Scott was talking about earlier. And right now, I guess that's sort of in the experiment phase as well. And Marina and the team actually came back to us and gave us a great progress update this year in May. And, we're looking at ways to sort of follow up on that. I think they will also look at the European Union as a funding agency for the next phase as well. And they will look at putting in something, I think, in September of this year. So that was basically the update in terms of where we're going in terms of the Serendipity Collective. So I'll stop sharing right now and answer any questions that any of you may have. So you can just kind of, raise your hands, or I'll try and actually make you all audible as well. Mike. Go on, Mike.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, great. Excellent. Well, thanks for the presentation. So I must admit, there's something that I wasn't aware of before, so I really appreciate you giving the overview. Is this open to government and industry and academia, or is it specifically targeted at starting a new startup kind of thing from scratch?
No, it's open to all of the above. So even if you have a kind of startup right now and you're working on a core idea, you could actually also apply if you have a truly innovative, if that idea is truly innovative and it actually meets the criteria that the topics have as well, then you can actually put that idea in there as well. Or if you're a startup and you have another idea that you've been shelving for the time being, you can actually put that forward as well. So yeah, so it's for academia, government organizations, and early startups, let's call it.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Anyone else? You can just raise your hand if you'd like to say something. Yes, Mike.
Right. Sorry, me again.
Yep, no problem.
The 10 that are invited to the meetup, so in this case in Serbia, is that still a I know you said it wasn't a competition, but is it still a way to down select who's actually going to get funded, or is that at that point is that the folks that are already funded?
No, so that will just, the 10 will be the 10 teams that we push forward from the ideation phase. So you put your idea on the platform, basically. We'll talk through that idea through an expert panel. So that's the first down selection. And then that down selection is for the pitch event, where you will actually speak to the funders and sponsors as well in order to get up to 50K to do the experiment for the next 3 or 6 months. So from that 10, there will be a further down selection for the 50K.
Cool, understood.
Did I make myself clear there?
Absolutely, yes, thank you.
Great. Great questions, Mike. Anyone else? All right. Well, like I said, thank you very much for joining. Really looking forward to meeting you virtually, at least on the platform, but then through the course of it. So you just need to watch out on the website and maybe through LinkedIn as well, because we will have several other updates and announcements as well in terms of the Serendipity Collective, and hope to see you all in Belgrade on the 26th and 27th. So thanks, everyone. And thanks, Scott, as well, for helping us out with the challenge topics. Bye.
Thanks, Kev, for hosting.
Okay.